What is merchant services and what is payment processing? This is a question we're asked a lot here, and merchant services is just giving the ability to a business owner to accept credit card payments. That's how you process the transaction. And to break this down, why it's important to be able to accept credit cards? Well, one, when you can accept credit cards, you're going to get a lot more business because most people today pay with credit cards. It's really that simple. Whether you're a brick and mortar or you are an online business, the ability to easily accept credit cards is very important. Now, there's a lot of things that you should know about merchant services, right? There's really two main ways that merchant services are done. There's a traditional, which is where you, the business owner, are going to pay a fee, and usually it's interchange plus a couple basis points that really usually work out to about 2 to 3%, or you have the cash discount option where you are going to pass that fee essentially to the client using the credit cards. And if you do that program and you go that route, you're going to save a lot of money because all you're really going to be paying for is whatever the monthly statement fees are. You're not really going to be paying the processing fees per se, right? So those are the two ways it gets set up. Now, while we're talking about merchant services, what are some important features to have? Well, one, you want accurate reporting, right? So you want to be able to log in and see exactly how many credit card payments, what type of credit card payments you took, and how much you're being charged. So that's very important too. You want to understand the rate. You want to understand how you're being charged. What is it per transaction? What is the actual rate? And then what is the rate per card? Because each card charges a different rate and that fee is passed to you. Then what are some other things? Do you have next day funding? Next day funding is pretty simple. Next day funding is if you batch out tonight at a certain point, the money is in your account the next day. There are certain providers that are what we call aggregators. Those are, let's say, a Square or a PayPal, where basically they don't really underwrite it. They set their fees at a base price that goes for all cards, and typically that's a lot more expensive than traditional merchant service providers. So you can either go with an aggregator, you can go to your bank, and banks are pretty expensive to process credit cards, but they do have that trusted name. Or you can go with a third-party payment provider, which is what we typically set our clients up with because it's typically better service and it costs less and you can get all the bells and whistles that you need. Now, when you're talking about merchant services, you want to know, if you're a brick and mortar, do you just need a terminal where they can go and have the chip reader, they plug in the card, and the transaction's complete? That's really simple and easy to set up. And typically businesses that are going to use that type of service are auto repair, any retail location. As long as you don't have a website where you're taking payments, that's really all you need. And that's probably the cheapest and easiest way to do it. Next, if you're online or you do take payments online, you need a gateway. All a gateway is just, it gives you the ability or the interface to hook up your online website to the merchant service company. It just passes that information through, and that allows you to take credit cards online safely and securely. And that's a big deal when it comes to payment processing. Is you want to make sure that your clients' information and data is very safe, it's very secure, otherwise it can open you up for liabilities. That's why, again, when we use a third party, we know exactly how secure that is, and we don't work with anyone that is not really secure. And the benefits of doing this are, one, you have more options, two, you know it's safe and secure, and three, you can get all the bells and whistles that you want. So I just want to give you a couple of recent examples of things that we've done using some of our third-party solutions. Well, one, we had a coach, right? He was a coach in the nutrition space, and he was using Square. And when he was using Square, he was processing about $150,000 a month, each and every month, and he was paying substantial fees. I think they were charging him 2.75%, and he came to us and he said he wanted a better solution. We came back, did an analysis using a third-party provider, and we were actually able to cut his fees by 80%, switching him to that cash discount model, and we wound up saving him over $50,000 a year. The other challenge that you have is if you are a high-risk business, so certain online businesses are considered high risk, and I will get into them in a different training or different video for you, your money might be held up, or you might have a reserve on the account. And if you have a reserve on the account, that just means your money is going to be held for a predetermined time, and then they'll release it. But the problem is that reserve is going to be on that account for a while. So again, that's why you might not want to go with an aggregator, that you might want to go with a third-party payment provider, because they should be able to get around that for you. And in terms of qualifications to get merchant services set up, really you just need to have a business and know that you want to accept credit cards, and you kind of want to know how you want it set up. Do you want traditional, where you're paying the fee, or do you want a cash discount? And then, next, you just can't be on a blocked list. So if you were on a list because you did something fraudulent in the past, you're not going to be able to get set up. And there are certain industries that are super high risk that if you're selling kratom or certain things that are deemed federally illegal. But if you are a traditional business, or if you are an online business and you need to set up processing, it can get set up quickly. And we have all the different types of solutions, which we'll get into in a different video. But all you really need is a driver's license, a voided check, a one-page application, and your tax ID. And that's really all you need to get set up with payment processing. And it's quick. It really takes under a day to get approved. And then typically we can ship out whatever equipment that you need to accept payments, or we could set up a gateway in 24 hours. If you have any other questions regarding payment processing, please go to integratedbusinessfinancing.com, and you could just message us or contact us there, and we can see exactly how we can set up your business for success.